Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, episode 70. This is Grady Hooker, and live on Skype we've got Josh.
Hey.
And we got Brandon.
Hello.
So, in a surprise, the Battleground pay-per-view, it had not one, but two pre-show matches, and the pre-show was back to being free on YouTube.
Yeah, it's still on from The Miz. It was back to being on multi-platforms.
Yeah. So
It wasn't a bad pre-show, I don't believe.
Yeah, I just thought that the opening match was a bit short, but the later match, it wasn't that bad.
yeah, Rose Fandango went for a lot less time than I was hoping for. And
Yeah, it went for only like a minute and a half.
yeah, and the Naomi Cameron match went longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, and the thing is that really Fandango should have won that match. The minute that Layla and Summer Rae slapped him, there should have been a disqualification, and Rose should no longer be undefeated.
Yeah, that's why I pointed out to Grady. Isn't that a disqualification?
Yeah, but never in the history of wrestling have slaps been a disqualification magically.
But a punch is.
Yeah, punch, anything else from an outside person, just not a slap. Don't know why, just happens that way.
Yeah, the weird wrestling rulebook.
So, the second match though, Naomi Cameron, Josh is pretty proud of himself with that one.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Cameron at first, but I was like, Naomi, she's kind of the face of Total Diva, she's gonna win this one, but it kind of surprised me that Cameron won.
It didn't surprise me one bit.
The magical predicting man.
It didn't surprise me so much that, in fact, that I got the exact finish to the match now. This wasn't good enough for me to pick Cameron over Naomi. I picked her to roll up Naomi for the win.
I think if Cameron was ever going to win, it would have to be a roll-up.
I think she's going to inherit Kelly Kelly's prowess for rolling up her opponents for victories.
The schoolgirl roll-up.
Yep.
So we'll move on to the actual show. It opened up with probably what I'd say was one of the better matches of the night. The 2 out of 3 Falls Tag Team Championship, Usos Wyatts.
The Usos and the Wyatts, man, do they put on good matches when they face each other.
I become a bigger and bigger Luke Harper fan every time I see him step in the ring for a match. The guy can do things that you shouldn't be able to do at his size. Those suicide dives out of the ring, those are meant to be for guys of Daniel Bryan's size, not his size.
I think
he can
Rowan
do them with just as well.
Yeah, I think Rowan also got a few standout moments, including the double superplex off the top rope.
Yeah, he gets overshadowed a bit by Luke Harper, but Eric Rowan is still a great talent. And if I had to rate this match, honestly, I'd probably give it a 4.5 out of 5. If he went maybe a number of more minutes, I think I would probably get it a full 5, but it was just an amazing match.
So do we think this is the end of the Usos Wyatts feud?
Yes.
I think it has to be. I think the whole purpose of this was to build the Usos up as the company's top tag team. And I think that's why the Wyatt family lost the match. Was so that, but they come out pretty strong as well because they put on a fantastic show alongside the Usos.
And they did score the first fall.
Yeah, and pretty dominantly in the first fall as well.
Okay, so the next match, Divas Championship, AJ Lee, Paige.
Yeah, I was a bit shocked that Paige didn't snap on AJ Lee there.
No, they're still frenemies.
I don't know how you can still be friends while you're getting beat by the friend week after week, so I have a feeling that a lot of frustration will build up inside of Paige.
And this was a good Divas match. Probably could have been a lot better, but yeah, I felt it was good. And it had the right outcome because AJ needed to retain it to justify the fact putting the title back on her. I'm not sure if the feud is over yet, but it's definitely looking interesting at the very least for the Divas division.
This feud isn't over until Paige snaps and goes full-blown heel.
Yeah, I don't know when that's going to be, but Paige, she's probably going to be a 2-time Divas champion by this feud is over, to be honest with you. When she hit the Paige turner during the match, I thought she had the win. And maybe that move wouldn't have ended the match right there, but maybe later on down the line that move will end the match.
She's probably going to need to work with AJ a lot with that move, because every time she hits it, it looks so sloppy versus any other time she hits it.
Yeah, I think that's mutual between the two of them, though. I don't remember. I think it was something along the lines of Paige didn't want to land her on her neck, and AJ didn't know how to sell the move.
AJ did a pretty good move at the end of WrestleMania, and Paige wasn't able to hook it, but I think that they'll start to get a lot more connection, you know what I mean? But get more connected, have more, what's the word I'm talking about?
Chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry. You're going to have a lot more chemistry by the time this feud is over, because they're going to have match after match after match, and it's going to be a lot of good Divas wrestling.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it quickly. The Rusev Swagger match, sort of overshadowed by what happened before it.
Yeah, and I thought the match was really, really good. I thought that Swagger and Rusev put on a good showing.
Just Lana ruined it all.
It's just people took one line from Lana's promo and made it out to be the devil for all intents and purposes, and has completely overshadowed the entire event.
Yeah, I don't think what Lana said was purposely trying to do that, but people took it as that, and I don't think they should have. But the match, I thought it was a pretty decent match. I thought it should have been a bit better. The ending, I think it left the book open to continue this feud.
Yeah, but with everything that happened with the whole backlash about Lana, I wouldn't be surprised if they just gently swept it under the rug and didn't even reference the fact that it was a count-out.
Is Rusev going to be the next Muhammad Hassan?
No.
It's possible that they could completely write out the character and do something else. I don't think they'll fire him the way they did Muhammad Hassan, but I think they might just completely go in a different direction if they choose to do so.
Take him back to being Bulgarian?
Maybe they'll make him a clown. We're missing Doink the Clown.
Okay. Well, we'll jump into our classic entrance theme of the week. It's the Sandman's Enter Sandman. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady, Brandon, Josh, Wyatt, Jericho.
I thought this was a great singles match. I thought Jericho brought some of the best out of Wyatt. And it's clear that this is not going to be the end. But it's just Jericho needed the win to get the credibility going forward for the match at SummerSlam.
I know the way I always saw it was going to be the classic Sammy had with Cena, best of 3. Jericho needs to win the first one, then he gets his credibility up, and then Wyatt wins 2 in a row to come off even stronger than winning 1, losing 1, winning 1.
Yeah, I was hoping that Bray Wyatt would win this match, and then because Bray Wyatt, he hasn't won at a pay-per-view since Extreme Rules, I believe.
But that's John Cena's fault.
It would have been nice to see him pick a pay-per-view win, because he hasn't really wrestled on Raw and SmackDown that often. Yeah, and it would have been nice to just see him pick up the win here. As I said, we don't see him wrestle that often on Raw and SmackDown. Night of Champions should be a good pay-per-view this year, because, Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho rumored, and even Triple H versus Roman Reigns rumored. So that's going to be a good show, and this match, I don't think it was the greatest match, but as the more they worked together, like they worked first at NXT, that was a pretty good match. and they work on this match, and that was a pretty decent match. So if they continue their work together, it should be a good match next time out.
I don't see Roman Reigns versus Triple H being until Survivor Series. I think that'll be the big selling point for that pay-per-view, because I don't see Triple H wrestling Roman Reigns on a B-level pay-per-view, even if it is supposed to be for one that gets the new subscriptions. I just don't see it.
It's just a B plus pay-per-view.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that they'll probably do at Nevada Night Champions, they'll probably do a 2-on-1 handicap match.
That's not best for business.
But
we just got one for free on Raw.
Yeah. So I don't think that we'll see it at Night Champions, because I don't think that would be wise for that particular type of match, because it's going to be a huge match. It needs to be on a big pay-per-view. As far as this match, Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho, it was a fantastic match. I thought that the two really, really did well together. I heard all these bad things about the pay-per-view before I started watching it, and I didn't see anything that was bad about the pay-per-view.
To be honest, I didn't see much of the pay-per-view. I was a little late to the show. Stupid uni. But I definitely think the internet seemed to be a little annoyed at this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it, because in my opinion, there was only one match that really stood out to me, and that was the opening match for the tag team titles, and the other matches just disappointed me a bit. So I don't know if that was the rest of the internet felt, but
I'm not. I enjoyed every match. There wasn't a match that I did not like.
Not even Rose Fandango?
For what it was, I liked it. It just was very, very short. And confusing with the ending. But it wasn't that bad. It's just there wasn't much to it.
Okay.
But I didn't really... Well, I didn't dislike Battleground. I loved it. I thought it was a B-plus pay-per-view.
Okay, well, we'll move on. We've sort of alluded to it already. The Rollins-Ambrose match. It didn't happen, and the feud's been extended.
And I thought that was the perfect move for the feud.
Yeah, I thought Raw was just crazy.
Yeah. I thought that this is going to make the match, when they do have it at Survivor Series, so much bigger than this match was. And this match was going to be pretty big. This is going to make people want to tune in to SummerSlam to see this match even more, because they got such a tease with Battleground on it. This is going to make them turn around and go, well, are they going to have the match now? And I wouldn't be surprised if the match is going to end up being for Rollins' briefcase.
Fair enough. I said back at the start of this program between these two that I thought it would be very Damien Sandow, Cody Rhodes-ish for the briefcase.
Yeah, except that they're not going to wind up like Damien Sandow, hopefully.
We all hope.
Yeah.
But up till the end of the Rhodes-Sandow feud, he was good.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was pretty awesome when Dean Ambrose popped out of that trunk. I was like, whoa. It just shows that Dean Ambrose is really crazy.
He's only a little unstable.
I think he's very unstable.
He's not Brian Pillman yet, though. Brian Pillman was the definition of crazy. When he starts pulling guns on people, that's when we need to worry.
PG.
When Brian Pillman pulled that gun, Raw was still PG.
Wow. I bet it wasn't PG after that.
It was for about a year and a half.
The replays and stuff must have gotten an M. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Either way, he's crazy. Full stop. We'll jump into the current entrance theme of the week. It's Battlegrounds. I think it's Jungle and it's by like 50 different artists, so have fun. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady, Brandon, Josh, Intercontinental Championship, 19-man Battle Royal.
Yeah, because apparently RVD is hurt.
God damn it, that was my pick.
Yeah, up to like a few hours before the show, he was in the Battle Royal, so something had to happen last minute. I was very, very shocked Cesaro was eliminated. Not because he was eliminated, it was because he was eliminated by Heath Slater.
Did you hear that pop?
That was crazy.
That tells you just how awesome Heath Slater is.
Yeah, I think
if Heath Slater could finally dump the one-man band gimmick, he could actually do something. Because Slater is a talented wrestler, and he's got some charisma. He just has an awful gimmick.
He also has 2 imaginary friends, because he still came out to the We're a 3-man band music.
Yeah, another little Jimmy gimmick, too.
Yeah. But yeah, it just was really weird. I can almost wonder if they suddenly realized his RVD's contract ran out, and they fabricated the injury.
I don't know.
Because it's so weird that you didn't have anything announced about it until after the match, and that they. Yeah.
So I'm going to read the official tweet. What it was is some fan tweeted, RVD, best of luck tonight, mate. Battle Royals can be very unpredictable. Smiley face. Hashtag WWE Battleground. Hashtag IC Battle Royal. And Rob Van Dam replied, oh, just you wait. And that was, I believe, 2 hours before the start of the show.
Yeah, he wouldn't have said something if he got hurt, because it's not kind of professional to announce it on Twitter. So I think it was just a last-minute thing. Maybe he slipped and fell or something like an old man and like broke his hip. I don't know.
Well, I know one thing. If he doesn't appear on Raw or SmackDown, I'm replacing him as an injury replacement.
He then went radio silence for the rest of the day, but has made several tweets since in the past 24 hours, none of them referencing his injury or why he wasn't on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I heard he's going to be back next week, so it doesn't sound too serious to me, and I'm glad it's not serious, but at the end of the match, I was hoping, I saw The Miz on the outside in the ring, and I was like, oh, no, because I knew that means The Miz is going to win.
Yep.
But we've seen in the past The Miz do that tactic and end up losing the match, and I believe that was when there was a 40-man battle royal on SmackDown. He tried to eliminate Randy Orton from behind, but Orton ended up RKOing him on the apron, and then The Miz got eliminated.
Yeah.
But that was not the result, and The Miz ended up walking out with the title.
Yay!
Much to your chagrin. And the minute I saw him win, this was the idea that popped into my head. Well, now they're going to do a title unification match at SummerSlam.
No, that's my worst nightmare. I'm not a big fan of title unifications because that takes away titles from guys in the mid card.
We don't have that many now.
It's a very crowded card. You have like Rusev, Swagger, Sheamus, Del Rio, Kofi Kingston, Big E. There's a lot of guys, and there wouldn't be that many titles if you take away one.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that's exactly where we're going. We're going for Sheamus versus The Miz for both titles.
I think that Dolph Ziggler will end up getting a title shot somewhere down the road, maybe at SummerSlam, maybe on a Raw or SmackDown after that elimination, because he probably would have been the new Intercontinental Champion if it were not for The Miz. If he saw The Miz coming in the ring, I think that we would have a new Intercontinental Champion with the name of Dolph Ziggler. But The Miz, he snuck up using his heel tactics and ultimately cost Ziggler the match.
I think if we look at it now, how many employees in terms of wrestlers does WWE have? They got to have on Raw and SmackDown. Probably we'll just roughly estimate around 60 odd, and then you look down at NXT. How many does NXT have? Like 30 odd?
More than that.
That are actively
maybe
wrestling.
Like 60 is the main roster.
I don't think they have the same as the main roster.
Well,
No,
on NXT television, there's like 30, but there's people that have not debuted on NXT television yet, and there's about like 30 of those guys.
Yeah, but talking about the guys who are on the show competing most weeks, you've got about half the amount on NXT as you do the main roster. And if they unify these titles, they have one more title on the main roster than they do NXT.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of crazy. I think you have to keep the 2 mid-card titles, because you took away the world title, that took away a whole legion of superstars from the main event scene. You took away Del Rio, Sheamus, Mark Henry, Big Show, because those guys are not going to be fighting for the WWE title. So I think you kind of have to keep another mid-card title.
I think we're about to fixing to stare down the 2 titles becoming one. I honestly believe that.
I just counted up. I was pretty good. It's 56 main card talents, not counting the Divas.
Yeah, pretty good. Only 4 off.
And I'll cut down to NXT. So we'll talk about the main event while I'm counting up. What'd you think?
I thought it was a great Fatal 4-Way match. I thought, and I think Roman Reigns came out of it as the star of the show.
Yeah, I thought he and Randy Orton put on the best performance, because those kicks, like what was it, like 3 kicks to Kane, Orton, Cena. I think that was pretty awesome.
And him putting Orton through the barricade.
Yeah, I would love to see Reigns expand his moveset, but his core moveset right now, the Superman punch, the spear, the kick on the outside of the ring to the opponent hanging over the ropes, those are pretty good moves, and the fans get pumped up for them. So as long as he continues to improve his moveset, introduce new moves, there's no reason why this guy can't be the face of the company.
Yeah. Reigns is being prepped. We can see the rocket put on his back. It's fixing to be lit. The only question is how fast, how far does he fly? And can he hold it? I think Roman Reigns has the potential. Now, keep in mind, I just said the word potential. That doesn't mean that I think it will happen. But I think he could be the next John Cena.
The fans love him.
Yeah, he could be the guy for the company. In the line of Hogan, Austin, Cena.
We're not including Rock.
Well,
I think
Rock was alongside. Rock was alongside Austin, but Austin drew more overall. So I always put him as the guy for the Attitude Era.
Okay.
You could say that they were 1A, 1B, but for me it was always Austin. That was why I watched Austin, not Rock. So that's where I'm coming from when I go Hogan, Austin, Cena.
Okay.
And then you could have possibly Roman Reigns the next in line.
Yeah.
And I think as he's going along, he's getting more and more experience, especially now that he's working with main event talents like Cena, Orton, and Kane. And he's getting more and more mic time that's allowing him to reach in and find himself, and it's progressing him as an overall talent as well in the ring.
Okay. Well, we're running out of time, so it's been great talking to both of you.
Great talking to you.
So I just counted up. It is 28 NXT talents, so exactly half of the 56 WWE ones. So you can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, wrestlingroundup.host22.com, and I'll see you